So today's video is something a little bit different. This might speak more to fellow coaches and teachers, but also if you are someone who has had lessons in anything, including singing, it may help to contextualize for you if you have had a similar experience. So I was working with a client today who is about 13, and we've had a few sessions together, not heaps. And I've taught her a couple of simple exercises, which are some of my favorite warm-ups for the voice, but also have other purposes outside of being warm-ups as well. And we sung a couple of songs, and this thing tends to happen for her, where she'll be, if I get her to just like hold a note, for example, just do like there's a closing up that happens at the end of the sound, and it'll happen throughout songs as well, where she'll go and the sound will go all funny, and her body will get really tense and kind of, all of this kind of stuff. And I was trying to work with her on technique and stuff, because for most people that I work with, they come in and they go, they have this and this that they want to work on with their voice, things that they find hard, sounds that their voice makes that they don't like, or sounds that they can't make that they would like to be able to make. And I'm like, great. So I listen to what they're doing. I analyze what settings their vocal mechanisms are on that are not helping them achieve those goals. And then I give exercises accordingly to help get to the settings that they want. But in this context, I realized that that process is not going to work for this particular client. And everybody who you work with is going to be really different and have a different learning style and different things that they like, existing experiences that they bring with them into the room. And I realized that this particular client, her nervous system is just so uncomfortable with being heard and witnessed while making sound. Now, I work with a lot of people who are total beginners to singing, very nervous about singing. And so, you'll get various levels of this, but this particular client is just this particular way that her body responds is this like real like shrinking and like just making odd noises at the end of the sound. And, like she has to like pull a face and stick her tongue out and like make a weird noise, even if everything that happened up to that point like sounded fine and was fine. So I realized like I can't keep trying to work on technique with her, because she's just going to get frustrated. And when she sings a song, she gets very small. We've worked on like what I'd call mouth effort, over articulating, opening up a little bit more, and she's making good progress in all of the things that we're working on, but there is such a blockage in this like response. So I realized what we actually need to do is just practice for her nervous system to feel safe. We just need to practice the experience of her just singing and making sound in front of me. And if we focus on specific technique stuff and trying to get something right, it's only going to feel like overwhelming, too many things to think about, while her system just doesn't feel safe yet in just being witnessed while she's making sound. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do the basic warm-up exercises every session, and then we'll just sing some songs, which is just like not how I usually operate, because a lot of people who come to me say they've had previous singing lessons where they just did some scales and then sang some songs, and there was very little like actual technique going on, and they found that to be a bit boring and that they didn't really improve or get anywhere. So I tend not to do that. I get really specific about like, okay, we're going to adjust this part of your vocal mechanism to, achieve your particular goals. But not everybody is going to need the same approach. So for this particular person, I'm like, okay, this is great. We need to practice her just in mastery, because I can already hear when she sings those songs. She sang an Ariana Grande song for me. She sang a Billie Eilish song. She can sing really high. She can use different kinds of vocal sounds. She has a great voice. She's got great musicality. She can sing beautifully in tune. And I can hear even through the smallness that she has to create at this stage when singing in front of me, I can hear that at home, she'll nail those songs. There's absolutely she can already do everything in this Ariana Grande song. She doesn't need any technique help. It's not actually the technique that's getting in the way. It's the fact that she doesn't feel comfortable singing in front of me yet. So we just want to spend time like doing stuff that's easy for her voice, easy vocally, isn't technically challenging, just for her to practice being heard while singing. So that was an interesting thing for me today. I always, adjust my process and how I work with each individual, because everybody is really different, but there does tend to be a more common system and process that things go through. But sometimes you have people who you need to adjust your process for. So I think that's really important for all coaches and teachers, that we can respond to the individual we're working with in the moment and not feel like we need to go through the same cookie cutter process with every single client that we see, because for some people, they're just going to need something a little bit different. So that was my insight for today, and I'll talk to you again soon.